On today's show, the Daytona 500 was a crash-em-bash-em spectacle, but actually featured a pretty good format. Peugeot takes another step closer to entering the American market, and a supplier company reinvents power brakes. All that and more coming right up on Autoline Daily. This is Autoline Daily, the show for enthusiasts of the automotive industry. The NASCAR season kicked off yesterday with the 59th running of the Daytona 500. The accident-filled race was won by Kurt Busch driving a Ford Fusion. Fox, which broadcast the race, did a better job with interrupting the race with commercials. However, it still cut away from a lot of the action. This was also the first NASCAR race to feature its new format that divides the race into 3 segments. It's being used as an incentive for drivers to race harder because they're awarded points for each segment. That helped out drivers like Danica Patrick, who did well early in the race but was taken out by a big wreck. And there was a lot of wrecks. We think NASCAR ought to rethink its rules because the way the cars are set up now, it's just pack racing. And pack racing is just a wreck waiting to happen. Peugeot is showing off a new concept called the Instinct. Even though it's a sleek-looking sports car, it was actually designed with autonomous driving in mind. The Instinct makes its debut at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. Speaking of Peugeot, it's one step closer to dipping its toes into the American market. PSA, the parent company of Peugeot, is partnering up with Travelcar to launch a ride-sharing service at airports in Los Angeles and San Francisco starting this April. The new service is the first step in a 10-year plan for the company to re-enter the U.S. market. And that is obviously a way to expose American consumers to the brand and its cars. And we'll be back with more right after this.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, your journey, our passion. Dow Automotive Systems, advanced materials that deliver better results. Lear, a global leader in automotive seating and electrical systems. And by Yen Feng, experience in motion.
Ford just revamped the Fiesta ST. While the headlights, taillights, and front and rear fascias have been changed, the car still looks very similar. But the real big difference is under the hood. One of the cylinders has been lopped off. The Fiesta ST now comes with a 1.5-liter 3-cylinder engine, which replaces the 1.6-liter 4-banger. Even so, it pumps out nearly 200 horsepower, an amazing figure from a 3-cylinder engine. And it hits 100 kilometers an hour, or about 62 mph, in 6.7 seconds. Unfortunately, the new Fiesta ST doesn't reach showrooms until early in 2018. Chevy just unveiled the 1LE package for the Camaro ZL1. Yeah, the same Camaro that just hit nearly 200 miles per hour last week. Aerodynamic improvements come in the form of a carbon fiber rear wing, specific air deflectors and dive planes on the front fascia. It gets Multimatic's dynamic suspension spool valve dampers that are also found on the Ford GT and Colorado ZR2. Other suspension enhancements include adjustable camber plates and a 3-way adjustable rear sway bar. The new forged aluminum wheels are an inch wider, but also an inch smaller in diameter and get wrapped in special Goodyear Eagle F1 Supercar 3R tires. To bring the total package weight reduction to 60 pounds, the thickness of the rear glass has been reduced, and there's now a fixed back rear seat. A supplier develops a new vacuum system for brakes that is smaller, lighter, and cheaper, and that's coming up next.
Bridgestone engineers are helping Larry Fitzgerald go long.
Bridgestone's dual Lenza Plus is engineered to go 80,000 miles.
I love anything that goes long. Long hair, long passes, long dogs.
We're going to do this for 80,000 miles? Or?
Long hugs, long weekends.
Last week we started reporting on the new Jeep Compass, and because there's so much to report on, we continue that coverage. The Compass represents a major global effort. It will be built in 4 plants in Mexico, Brazil, China, and India, and it will offer 17 different powertrain combinations. Though in the U.S., it will only be offered with one 2.4-liter engine and 3 different transmissions, at least for now. In the Jeep lineup, it's slotted in above the Renegade and below the Cherokee. Specifically, it's in the C SUV segment, which is expected to grow 20% worldwide. Even though it's very similar in size and price to the Cherokee, the Compass is slightly smaller inside and does not offer a V6 engine. That's how it's being positioned differently from the Cherokee. Jeep has a lot riding on it. The Compass needs to account for nearly 25% of all of Jeep's sales, and it will be on sale in April or May. The vacuum system on a car can be very heavy and costly, and whether it's mechanical or an electrical system, it puts a parasitic loss on the engine. So a supplier company called Dayco set out to create a new low-cost way of creating vacuum. For example, when the driver steps on the brake pedal, a pressure sensor signals the power control module, or PCM, which in turn signals a flow control valve to open. The engine then pulls air through an aspirator, which is a venturi. That then creates a low pressure area, and that draws air from the brake booster canister. Paul D'Alessio is a senior vice president with Dayco.
It gives the automakers the performance that they need while improving fuel economy and at a very good competitive system cost, which provides a value solution that's extremely compelling.
Dayco calls this active VGS, or vacuum generation system. It's already on the Ford F-150 with the 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, which we don't think Ford has disclosed until now. The VGS can be dropped into any application with no tear-ups. It's lighter, smaller, cheaper, and boosts fuel economy by 0.3%. And you know what? We love showing you how much innovation is coming out of the supplier community. But with that, we wrap up today's show. Thank you for watching, and we'll be right back here again tomorrow.